Hello, friends, and thank you for giving me your attention today. If you're already following the show, please know that I appreciate your support and I'm glad you keep coming back. If you're new to the show, please be sure to like and follow on Spotify, YouTube, or whichever platform you may be listening on. Please consider visiting BigAlRocks.com and clicking on the email newsletter to join my mailing list. I promise I won't flood you with a bunch of junk. Finally, feel free to leave a Spotify or YouTube comment on this episode or send an email to podcast@BigAlRocks.com with your comments, suggestions, and show ideas. Once again, thanks for your time and attention. On with the show. Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. I am Alan, of course, Big Al. Whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for supper. Uh, I have Matt Bissonette here on the line this week, and he has a band called the Squirts. And of course, the very first question we're going to ask is, how did you get that band name?
Well, it's kind of a crazy name, so don't put it in your browser to look up because crazy stuff comes up. But basically, we're just a three-piece band, and we just are kind of like a bunch of kids. We're just very immature and childish, and we just thought that was a funny name because we were trying to just write some lighthearted music that didn't that would just be super light, and we didn't want to get too far in the woods with a deep name. So the Squirts just kind of came up. Roger, the drummer, is really into the Three Stooges and the whole Moe Curly thing, the whoop, whoop, whoop. So basically, it's just a stupid name for a bunch of stupid old men.
Hey, that sounds like my kind of band. Do you need a tambourine player?
Yes, we do. Every band needs a tambourine player.
All right. So how did the band The Squirts come together?
Well, George and I, George, the guitar player, George Bernhardt, was playing guitar with Rick Springfield, and then I got the band playing bass around 2001. And then Roger, the drummer, joined later, and we were playing with Rick, and we just started. The guys would come over to my house, and we would write songs at my studio for publishing companies and for movie and TV stuff. We would just write instrumental stuff, and then we started writing vocal songs. We kind of stumbled into 2 or 3 songs, and then we said, let's put this out as a record. Back then it was a little bit easier just to make a CD and sell it. So we asked Rick at the airport, since we're in the band and we're playing, it would be like a glorified sound check for you if we opened up for you and played, and then by the time you walk out on stage, you'll be golden and everything will sound good, and maybe we can sell some CDs and T-shirts and stuff. And he said, yeah. So pretty much for about 2 or 3 years, maybe even longer than that, we kind of opened up for Rick all across the country, and it just kind of became this thing. And we did 2 records way back, and then we just decided to do another one. So it's been a long time in between. So I've gotten a lot older.
Haven't we all? So your debut album came out in 2003. Your sophomore album came out in 2005, and that was called Resquirted.
Yes.
Why did it take so long to get from Squirt 2 to Squirt 3?
Well, life happened. Everybody's kind of went. George moved down to Nashville, and everyone's kind of gone off doing different gigs. I was doing Elton's gig for a long time, so I was gone a lot, and we all kind of just did our own things. And then we just kind of we're looking at each other, going, we should round this off to the number 3, kind of like with our band, the Mustard Seeds. We did 3 CDs. We just like that number 3. It's a very holy number, so we kind of went for it. So we, I don't know if it's a holy number, but it's just a round number. So we just decided might as well do one more, and this one is kind of our favorite. It kind of we've all grown a lot musically and been through different things, and this album's a little probably deeper than the other ones, but it's still basically a bunch of idiots. So it was a long time coming, and I know the world was waiting in anticipation, and the pressure from the world to have another Squirts record just hit us. So we said, here we go. Now the world is safe.
Well, the Holy Trinity was 3, so I think you're onto
That's,
something there.
that's what I mean. That's kind of what I mean. Thank you.
Now, when you guys started writing this third album, were there any outside influences when you were writing and recording?
Outside influences being musical, like uh, things that we've listened to and stuff like that. I mean,
Whether it's musical, whether it's what's going on in the world, anything.
well, I mean, musically, we're all inspired by, there's nothing new under the sun as far as coming up with something original anymore. It's usually borrowed from some band or something. So we've all listened to a lot of music over the years and trying to be relevant to hear songs and kind of know how they work and deconstructing songs and stuff like that. So we've all been influenced by a lot of different bands, and it kind of shows in the record. But I think the overall theme of this record was kind of inspired by COVID and the whole locking down of the world and deeming things essential and things that weren't essential, like strip clubs were open and bars and all that stuff, yet churches were closed, and so that's bad and this is good, and how that whole thing just kind of dehumanized everybody. So a lot of the songs on this record are kind of trying to find light in the tunnel during COVID, and how we all dealt with it. And like the song "Not a Good Time for a Clown," how if you said the wrong thing at the wrong time, you're going to the thought police jail, and how quickly the world changed and how volatile the world is. And but we'd always try and do it from a sense of humor point where you can't control this stuff. You just kind of live in this world and try and live your life and protect your family as much as you can and know where you're going when you're done here, and just trying to keep it light. It was a horrible situation for so many people, especially musicians. I mean, musicians were the first one off the chopping block for non-essential musicians. So it was kind of a funny, backhanded way of getting us through the situation.
Yeah, I spoke to a lot of musicians that, COVID really took a toll on or just completely killed their careers. So it's good to
Yeah.
see that you guys are still being able to work.
Yeah, it kind of killed a lot of careers, but it also blossomed a lot of other people that kind of took advantage of it. I mean, like Daryl Hall with the living room thing and the whole internet thing. I'm just thankful that music came back. I never thought it was going to come back. I thought everything was going to be online, and we got through it, and everyone's playing live again. It's pretty amazing. We played last night in Charlotte, and I was looking at thousands of people just going, it's like it never happened, which is kind of a scary thing. That something that seemed like the end of the world now seems like, what's behind the next corner, so.
Every day brings a new surprise, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I read that you guys had the song Other Side of Paradise, and it just kind of sat on a hard drive for about 15 years. And then you guys re-recorded it during COVID. So what was that recording process like?
That was back when we were doing a lot of writing for movies and TV and stuff, soundtrack stuff. And we kind of wrote the song and we mixed it and we just sat on it. And then when we started putting songs together for this record, we kind of remembered that one, and we redid it, re-sang it, and replayed it. But the crux of the song was always the same from however long that was, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And that was the same thing for a song called When You Die. We recorded a demo in Milwaukee when we were on the road with Rick in our friend's basement in Milwaukee, and we came up with this rhythm track. And then George found it on some computer drive, and we wrote the song to that with that. So a lot of things were kind of sitting around that we over the years, but most of the record was started from scratch. Like I'll start an idea and send it to the guys and send it back to me, or George would start something, or Roger. It's kind of a little bit, the internet magic of throwing things out there, and then you can do whatever you want at home, make all your mistakes, and do your thing that nobody will ever know about, and tune your vocals or whatever it is. And the internet works pretty great for that stuff. It's speedy and it's not a lot of sitting around the studio. It's a good use of time for whatever worth that is.
Yeah, a lot of us during the COVID thing tried to do some home recording, and some of us did better than others.
Yeah, George is great because he's such a great engineer. He mixed everything, and he's great. And we have the same Cubase studios and stuff, so we're always looking at each other and online and figuring things out on our computers. But yeah, it was for what as bad as COVID was, it really made you have the time finally to sit around, and whether you read books more or whatever you're doing, we were focusing on songs and production and stuff like that. So, and I was learning piano scales and modes and stuff. I mean, it forced you to do things that you never would have the time to do. Now everything, the world's going back, and you're just on with other things. It was kind of a weird, cool time for that, but pretty horrifying at the same time. But yeah.
Well, I'm cool. I'm glad to hear you said something about Cubase because I use Cubase,
Yeah.
but most everybody else that I know either uses Pro Tools or Logic.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. I mean, I got burned out on everybody saying, "Oh, Pro Tools is the it's the industry standard," all that stuff. But more people I know are using other forms, Cubase and Nuendo and Logic. It doesn't really matter anymore how you record as long as you get the files bounced to zero and you send them to somebody and mix them in Pro Tools or whatever your thing is. I just got a Pro Tools system that I'm trying to learn in my other room and trying, little baby steps trying to figure that out so I can keep relevant with that stuff. But for the most part, I would use Cubase over anything, so right on, brother.
That's right. And once you learn one program, they're all essentially the same, just where you have to click is different. And we
Right.
can't have something that looks different.
Right, exactly. And the important thing is having a chain set up where the sound is good, whether it's your bass or your guitar or your vocal. As long as it gets to the audio, you should be golden, So,
Absolutely. Getting back to the album, there are 10 songs on the album, correct?
yes, sir.
Is there any theme to the album?
Well, I think we have 11. We have one bonus track, which is called Lobster, which was from the Resquirted record, which we added on. I'm not too sure if it's available for everything. But what was the question about the 10? I'm sorry, spaced out.
Is there any specific theme to the album?
Just, we always try and write about hope, no matter what, whether it's sarcastic hope or whether it's a situation that goes through point A to point B and how you can work through those situations to come out making that situation right. Uh, I can't remember the songs offhand how the themes are, but they're basically just trying to based on love and trying to just the golden rule of loving your neighbor, put God first in every decision you make and love your neighbor as yourself. And if we did that, there would be no problems in the world. Unfortunately, that's not the way this world works. But if you keep that in mind in all your decisions, then you're going to do okay. So we kind of try and write that in the lyrics. I kind of do most of the lyrics. So um, that's my theme of just trying to get through awkward situations by doing the right thing, and knowing that you're going to make mistakes. We're all sinners and we're all capable of horrible things and good things, but you just keep chugging through and just try and get through that situation to the next one because there's going to be something else coming as sure as anything. So just try and keep everything positive. Our goal is if one person hears a song and it changes the access of their day, then we've done something good. So positivity, I guess, is the theme.
Sounds good to me. I know you guys, you're all professional musicians and you tour with, you said Rick Springfield and you mentioned Elton earlier, and I know you've toured with other acts. Do you have any plans to tour this album?
We've talked about it. It's just a logistical thing if we can pull it off. And George is in Nashville, and I'm in Orange County, and Roger is in Woodland Hills. But yeah, we'd love to do it. It's just a matter of it would have to be the right situation. If we can get an opening spot or do something, we'd love to do it. I mean, we love playing live. We did it a lot, and it's pretty easy with the three of us. It's pretty contained, and we have our sound, and it's not like rocket science. It's just kind of we're ready to go. So maybe you could book us in that place that you're at right now because I'd like to play right there, right
That
on
would be
that
one
roof.
of the few outdoor shows I would like to do.
I like it.
All right. What's coming up next for the Squirts?
Um, we're just we haven't talked about recording anything more. We're pretty exhausted from this one. It took us a little while because everybody had different issues and things, life stuff, and it was trying. We didn't rush through this thing, obviously, after taking 20 years, but the recording process for this one probably took us 2 years from beginning to end because we'd start, life would happen, and I'd be gone, or George would have a situation going on, or Roger would have a situation. So we we really took our time with this, and we wanted to do it right. So we haven't regrouped from that and said, okay, let's do another four. But we're always writing, and I'm sure probably something will come up where we'll do that, or maybe we'll tour. I don't know. We're just going one day at a time here.
Fair enough. Now, the big question, are you going to have
Yeah,
this album out on vinyl?
that's a good question. You'd have to ask Dave over there at the record company. I don't know. We'd love to. Um, that's my goal is to try and get old records of mine and new stuff that I'm doing to vinyl. I'm just not that familiar with how that works, but I would love to. I would love to do that. So I'm going to have some talks. Yes. The answer
Fair
will
enough.
be yes.
Say that again.
The answer should be yes. Hopefully it will be. Yes.
Gotcha. So, where can my listeners find you online?
Well, my website is mattbissonette.com, and I have a bunch of stuff up there from different things I've done over the years. And the band, I think we have the squirts.com, but just be careful when you go looking around there because there's some crazy stuff with that name, and which I take no responsibility for. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I could research that. Maybe I could send it to you. But yeah, and Dave at Vanity Records has the record out, and it's also available on Bandcamp for the download. And yeah, pretty straight ahead.
All right, Matt. Well, I thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your show.
Thank you. That was quick and painless. I didn't even bleed. I like
Just
it.
like I warned you.
All
Take
right,
care.
buddy. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thanks for listening to Big Al's Rockin' Podcast. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe on your preferred podcast outlet. Visit BigAlRocks.com to find past episodes, on-demand links to my radio show, links to my social media, and other Big Al shenanigans. Most importantly, please like and share this episode. Peace out.